Welcome to the 10-Minute Life Lesson Podcast. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. I train people for improved personal and professional development, offering my assistance to those ready to develop their goals into tangible, focused, and achievable plans of action. And this podcast is one of the tools I use to accomplish my mission. Generally, when the timer hits 9 minutes and 59 seconds on this recording, you'll have a fully developed life lesson that you can take with you and begin to implement immediately. And if this week's lesson has a ring of familiar, then it's probably a reinforcement of a life change you've already started to implement. This podcast falls under the umbrella of my greater personal development efforts, all under the Your Better You brand. For more information on accountability coaching or to gain access to tools, tricks, and life hacks, visit yourbetteryou.info. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. Now, here is this week's life lesson. One thing I'm finding myself doing more often is dispelling some of the tenets of personal development, some of the commonly used sayings that are taught by teachers, both novices and experts, that aren't quite as on point as they sound. They sound great. They sound easy to work with. And as I say, I give you things that are quick, simple, easy to implement, things like that. But a lot of the things that we're selling, and I say the collective we, so it is me as well, is some simple tenets, the simple things that when put in the right order, sometimes the right amount of accountability to somebody else outside of you, and sometimes it's sheer luck and placement, work out to the best for you, or at least to the better, because if it doesn't work out exactly, you have some sort of path to work with to get better in the future. One of the tenets that keeps getting pushed out is the fake it till you make it. Now, I'm not going to completely squash this because there is some validity to doing this, but it's not really a factor of pretending like you are something you're not. It's really factored down to believing in yourself and doing the things that those people do. It's a matter of semantics, but if you can perform the action, you don't have to be a professional at it. You have to be proficient at it. That makes you a person who can do it, because there are plenty of professionals who are just as improficient at it as you may be in the moment. The story I tell very often is a story of when I was doing some freelance photography work a long time ago, and I was setting up early, checking out the venue that was going on. I was hired by a band to take pictures for them when they performed and got a chance to get into the venue and take some early shots. I showed up hours early. I was checking out, scoping out the venue, and the sound guy setting up the stage was having some issues getting things set up. And so he yelled at me because I was just kind of standing around and wasn't a crew guy that was putting things up, and told me to go by the soundboard and help him out for a second. And of course I said, I'm not a sound guy, but I'll do what I can. He said, don't worry about it. Do what I tell you to do. He told me to press a couple buttons. I pressed a couple buttons, hit a couple switches, faders up and down, faders up and down. In about 10 minutes of going back and forth, because there really was something, the guy that was supposed to set things up wrong, he had to do some twitching and tweaking and doing whatever. All was done. Things were set. And he yelled back, and don't forget, you're a sound guy. Don't let anybody ever tell you you're not a sound guy. And if they do, you tell them I said you're a sound guy. Granted, I had no idea what the guy's name was, but the point was I sat there behind the board for 10 minutes, moved some stuff around, did whatever, and I essentially was a sound guy. Now, I've gone on to do actual more sound engineering, so I can technically say I am a professional sound guy now. Proficiency is still sort of a wishy-washy thing in my terms, but I can say I have enough skills and enough ability not to panic to be able to manage myself in most minor situations. Now, this came about from me taking the action of doing the sound stuff, moving the faders, hitting the knobs, doing whatever, and just following directions needed to get to where we were going at that point. As I got into broadcasting and got into radio and TV and started doing more of those things, it was just a matter of getting my hands dirty, getting my hands on the controls and mucking things around until I could figure out how to get myself out of jams I got myself into, how to not get myself into those jams in the first place, and then, of course, how to get other people out of the jams and just do it without any issue. It was literally about action, and that's how I've essentially grown everything I've done since then in my business, in my life. If I want to do something, if I have the idea for it, I find out the steps needed to do it, how to get to the next level, and I do that until I'm proficient enough to move forward. There are plenty of occasions where I barely have the knowledge to get things done, and I do have to bluff my way to get in the room, to get the job, and to get it done in the back end. But I was able to get in the room, get the job, and get it done in the back end. It wasn't a fact of faking it till I made it, being a total fake and showing up saying, I got this, when I had no idea what was going on. It really was a matter of having enough action to go to the next step and get past the next step and get past enough gatekeepers to get where I needed to go. Fake it till you make it is not a bad concept taken at the face value. You fake the fact that you are a higher level something until you actually make that high level. But it really is a matter of you are what you are because that's what you tell people you are. If you write, you are a writer. You may not be a published author. You may not be a best-selling author. You may not be getting paid as a professional writer. But if you are writing things every so often and you are publishing things even on the internet, you are a writer. You don't have to even be any good. You are a writer. If you play an instrument, you are a musician. You don't have to be good. You don't have to be in a band. You don't have to do gigs. You don't have to perform before thousands of screaming people. You just have to have the ability to play an instrument or sing a few bars to be a musician. Your ability and talent may take you to higher heights or maybe not take you very far out of your garage, but that's where it lies. Fake it till you make it is a concept you use to perform for people so that they can get past any insecurities about you being in the position they are bringing you in for. Because if they don't think you can do the job, they probably won't hire you. If you think you can get past it, take a shot and do the fake it till you make it thing. But in the meantime, it's not really about faking it so much as it is about learning what you have to learn, knowing what you do know, something that's also a pretty big storyline in my teachings, and using it to your advantage. When you find out exactly what they're looking for, you can perform to that level. If you're not a master musician or a master sound guy, example of those there, or a master writer, then don't bid for any big-time gigs or big-time writing assignments. That's asking for somebody to catch you. That's where the fake it till you make it gets you in trouble. But if you know how to parse things down to a level that makes sense, you can make it work. If someone's looking for fitness information and you may not be a certified licensed trainer with years and years of experience, but you have a pretty good physique and you know how to do some exercises that keep you in shape, and you've shown a couple people how to do things and do them safely, then you can offer up your services for personal training. You're not going to bid for a job to get some big-time movie star in shape for a movie where they have to play a buff soldier, but you can show some housewives how to get in shape and work around their schedule and get some exercise in. That's something you can easily do. You don't want to really fake it till you make it. You may want to throw a little razzle-dazzle magic to show that you might be a little bigger at the deal than you might actually be at the time, but you don't want to say really faking it like you have no idea how you're doing it. You do want to be focused on the skills you do have and the level that you can perform at, and keep yourself somewhere where you don't overplay your hand and get yourself in trouble and maybe get people hurt. You do want to take action on what you're doing. It's not about acting like you have the part. It's about playing the part. You just don't have to play the part to a Shakespearean level every time you step onto the stage. You just got to read the lines and stay in the scene and walk the steps and do the actions and get the whole thing done in a timely manner, in a professional manner, which is really going to help you out there, and in a way that give the people who have hired you in for this thing confidence that they've made the right hire. People complain about not getting their money's worth from something, and they will always do that because people are humans, and humans will have some reason to gripe about something. It's what we do. It's what we're really good at. We don't have to fake it to make it on that one. Humans are great at complaining. But you can offer up a very good service of what you're doing. Whatever it is you're dreaming to become, you can offer up a decent level of it if you just put in the work and get the basic in. Wherever you're trying to go, whatever you want to be, it's probably more possible than you think it is. There may be some level of talent or ability that you may not naturally have, that you might need to be an elite, but that doesn't mean you can't be a rec guy or can't be a proficient person. You can't be a person that can get the job done. Don't worry about faking it. You can make it with enough time and effort, but it's really about time and effort to get there until you can say you've totally made it. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today. This is one that hits very, very close to home because the fake it till you make it concept is something that is a great idea and a great thing to push someone to go to a level that they didn't expect to get to. But it's something that's trickled down into the vernacular of just regular people. And now just random folks will tell you to fake it till you make it when they really don't have an idea of how to do that themselves. They're not faking it well enough to show that they've made anywhere, but they're telling you to do that. And that's not really what the point is. Fake it till you make it is about showing someone you have the confidence to seem like you're competent, but you have to have enough competence to pull off that confidence, if you will, with me. So if you got to have some sort of skill into the deal to make it work out in the first place, you don't have to pull at you are the professional top pro. I wouldn't try to pull that over someone, but if you just need to get the job done, you can prove to someone that you can do it, get it done, and then eject yourself from the situation as quickly as possible. That's how that goes there. Now, I don't believe I faked it today. I'm pretty sure I showed you that by my actions, I've learned a good bit about personal development. So if you want to get with me, get with us, the team behind things at Your Better You, it's very simple. YourBetterYou.info is the website for all things about the movement, if you will. We have 2 podcasts. This one, the 10-minute life lesson, and Steps to Your Better You. That one even quicker, 90 seconds of quick content. Plus, the website offers you a quick, easy access to see what sort of things we can offer you, from accountability coaching to full-time coaching on what it is you're trying to do. You can check it out there at the website as well, or you can send me emails with any questions you have to yourbetteryouinfo@gmail.com. yourbetteryouinfo@gmail.com. Once again, the website, yourbetteryou.info. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. Your Better You, find us there. Or you can just send me an email and we'll figure out what we need to do at yourbetteryouinfo@gmail.com. We'll talk it out. We'll email back and forth. We'll figure out what it is we can do for you, and we will get on it as quickly as possible. We will get another one of these out in 7 days. That's not quickly as possible. That's on time. Plus, on Wednesdays. Wednesdays are the day for Steps Your Better You. That's 90 seconds, of course. And Friday's your day to release this one, which is the 10-minute life lesson. Glad to have a chance to talk to you in the same format and continue on this. Glad for all the great feedback that we receive from the podcast. Make sure you subscribe if you've not subscribed yet so you don't miss it in your podcatcher of choice. Share the website and the podcast with other people who are like-minded, looking to make improvements to themselves so that we can all have a greater community of people looking to be better us's. And be here next week, whether you catch us automatically via your podcatcher or you do go to the website every single week. Don't miss out on next week's edition, which should be another great edition of the 10-Minute Life Lesson podcast from yourbetteryou.info.